She's actually the child he had after an affair while married to my mom. Do you think that OP should have done something for her sister?
Yeah, gave her the link to 23andMe.
Oh, shoot.
Hey, so your dad messed up.
I think the whole wondering about your, parents, I'd be over it by then. Hey guys, welcome to Honey Hearts. I'm Sandra.
And I'm V.
Here we're going to tell stories that are sometimes heartwarming or heartbreaking. So today we have a story with a very tricky family dynamic that involves 2 sisters and 3 moms.
3?
Yep. Let's get into OP's story today. Am I the a-hole for not letting my half-sister wear anything of my mom's on her wedding day? I, 30 female, have a half-sister, 23 female, who will be getting married sometime in 2025. Half-sister is my dad's child. She's actually the child he had after an affair while married to my mom.
Drama.
My parents divorced when my mom learned dad had cheated on her, and things became more tense after she found out the person he cheated with had gotten pregnant. My dad told her that the other woman was out of the picture, and my mom could have a second child she always wanted, and we could be a family.
Oh, okay.
I was there for part of the conversation because dad wanted me to, quote, be excited for a sibling, and thought it would win my mom over. My mom stood firm with dad. Dad would tell my half-sister that we had the same mom. He talked like that around me and tell me to shut it when I told him to stop lying. He also told mom could be a kind person and step up for a child who had no mother. According to him, the affair partner found someone else to be the affair partner of and didn't want to know my half-sister. When I was 11, my mom died. So I went to live with dad. About a year later, dad got married. But even after he got married, he taught my half-sister that my mom was her mom.
What?
I'll say whatever hope we had of a relationship was ended by my dad doing this, because she wouldn't believe me when I told her she had a different mom, and she hated me for not giving her photos and stuff of moms, and for not making my family acknowledge her as their granddaughter like I was acknowledged.
I'm pissed for OP's sake, but alright.
My dad's wife never became mom to my half-sister, even though she admitted to desperately wanting one, because she was so hung up on my mom. Mom left me everything, and my grandparents took care of the stuff for me until I became independent. I wore some of mom's wedding jewelry on my wedding day as well as her veil. I didn't invite my dad or any of his family, including half-sister, but she saw photos. So she reached out to me on social media and told me she wanted some of mom's stuff for her wedding, and I said no. She told me now is not the time to be selfish, and I told her she's entitled to nothing and she'll have to find other things to wear. She called me names, and I told her dad should really have admitted the truth to her by now. She said she didn't know why I was so adamant she wasn't mom's kid, and it's not fair because I got to be raised by mom for 11 years while she got nothing and for no reason at all. Afterward, my dad's wife reached out and told me how upset my half-sister was and asked me to please consider giving her something because dad really effed her over. She feels hated by mom and me. My half-sister messaged again after this and told me I was being really unfair to her and how I made mom's abandonment of her even worse. Am I the a-hole? Edit to add, making clear, my mom never met my half-sister or vice versa. My mom did not want to meet her or be in her life.
Before we even answer the question of is OP the a-hole, I got a bone to pick with dad.
I know.
What a mess. He's out here messing with everybody's lives. I mean, the cheating, and then with the kid, and then lying to your kid. Well, the stepsister, and then forcing his kid to buy into the lie.
Right.
And then now basically trying to pressure OP into fixing his mess.
So this is what I meant by 3 moms and 2 sisters.
I don't want to go on a rant already, but my first instinct is immediate no, OP is not the a-hole. I mean, it's terrible. I feel bad for the stepsister, but OP's not responsible. And the way the relationship is, it seems like this stepsister is kind of more like a stranger to OP.
She's actually a half-sister. So she is the child of
right.
OP's dad and his affair partner at the time.
Right.
And then now OP's dad wants her to believe that OP's mom was her actual mom. So he's not admitting to the affair to the half-sister.
So half-sister doesn't even know that there's an affair.
Well, OP's been trying to tell her half-sister, we do not have the same mom, but OP's half-sister is believing her dad. And can you really blame her for believing her dad?
I would almost say, this is going to sound rough.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she should say, hey, if you're hearing all these different things, get a test done.
Yeah.
And if you're really my, biologically like full sister.
Yeah, that's like a way you can prove it,
yeah,
right?
Then we can have this discussion further. Because at this point, I feel like if half-sisters are so insistent on, oh, no, dad told me this, and ignoring everyone else. Because it seems like even maternal grandparents' side is on OP's side because they held all of the
they're
mom's
not
stuff.
Like one of half-sister's gripes is that she feels she's not being acknowledged. She feels she's not being acknowledged by the rest of the family, like OP is acknowledged. And it's because in her mind, she grew up with her dad telling her, hey, you guys have the same mom. So I guess if you were in half-sister's shoes, you would believe, like, I should also be entitled to mom's things. But OP's like, I'm trying to tell you, we do not have the same mom. And I guess, I don't know, like, if you've grown up with your sibling all your life and then you're hearing this, like, who would you really believe?
That's true. But I do feel like, I don't want to say, the majority wins, but half-sister, I think, has a responsibility to go get it checked out and find the truth out for herself. Because, okay, it's one thing if it's just, one versus one voice, right? Mm-hmm. But you have the entire maternal family and your half-sister versus your dad, essentially.
Right.
At some point, you got to find it weird. Like, really, is everyone else out to get you?
So now it's like 3 moms. So it's OP's mom who passed. Mm-hmm. And then half-sister's mom who left to have another affair. And then, so she's still around for all we know, but she's just not involved. And then we have dad's new wife. So both of the sisters' stepmom who refuses to be a mom to either of them.
That's so messy.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. I think from the way the story was told, half-sister didn't even try to have a relationship with the new or the third mom.
Well, I don't know because it says that, OP
because she was so hung up on
on OP's mom. Yeah, and apparently half-sister shows that she desperately wants a mother figure, right? Like a maternal figure, but there's no one available to play that role.
I mean, they're what? How old are they now? Does it say?
They are 30. OP is 30 and half-sister is 23.
You're kind of old enough to need to. I don't want to sound insensitive and be like, get over it. But at some point, you're an adult. You need to figure this stuff out. Like, I know it's like a touchy subject, wanting a mom figure and all of that. But you can't just go and be harassing your half-sister when she's adamant she doesn't want a relationship with you. I mean, they weren't even invited to the wedding. So I think that speaks volumes. And for you to show up out of the blue and say, I want mom's things.
Oh, yeah. There's no way OP would. If she wasn't even invited to the wedding, there's no way OP would give it to her sister. And I think, like, if you were half-sister, wouldn't you kind of question, like, why did the grandparents not leave anything of mom's for me?
Right.
I think that would, like, ring alarm bells, right?
Yeah. And it's even weirder that she's not pitting all of this, I think, rage and emotion and blame towards either the maternal side or the dad.
I think dad is the biggest, villain in all of this, honestly.
Yeah, I think she needs to go to dad and figure something out first.
Yeah.
And I think she's just putting this blame on OP.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for all the besties we got on YouTube. Now, let's get to 5K by hitting that subscribe button below. Okay, so we do have a comment that does mention your idea. So commenter says, not the a-hole, but has she never seen her birth certificate? Surely her mother is named on there. I second what a lot of people are saying. Tell her if she gets a DNA test proving your maternal siblings, then you'll share some of your mother's stuff with her. Since that's impossible, she'll have to face facts. And commenter replies, exactly. Does she not have her birth certificate she can reference? And then saying, again, because we know that half-sister is preparing for her wedding, commenter says, birth certificate might be required to get a marriage license depending on your country.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Well, here's the thing. I'll be honest, because the relationship between the two sisters are so bad, like nearing strangers, to be honest, I would argue that even if the tests somehow in some bizarre twist of events show that they were like fully biological sisters, I would say she's still not entitled to the stuff. Only because from OP's perspective, you know, mom never wanted anything to do with her still. Maternal family clearly doesn't have any ties to her. And she, you know, having, even if grown up with her, don't have relationships. So you're still not, like, I want to say it's a nice thing to do if she wanted to share some items, but she's not, half-sister isn't entitled to it.
Well, if you were in OP's situation, what would you do? Because you've gone through your whole life trying to convince half-sister that you guys don't share the same mom. At what point would you actually kind of just give in? Just to, like, make her happy? In a way, I wonder if, like, they have any type of bond. Because if they did, then maybe OP could, I don't know, give, like, a little something.
Like, just to be...
Just a little something. I mean... Then again, OP didn't even invite her to her wedding. So I really don't know what their relationship is like. But I think that maybe at some point I might just give her, like, I don't know, a pair of earrings. Or maybe OP could just buy a pair of earrings.
And then tell her it's the mom.
I don't know.
See, I feel like it really depends because I totally understand, like, what from OP's perspective, you're probably not going to welcome this new sibling knowing the context, like, the grief that mom went through with the affair and things like that. And I know that, you know, half-sister isn't at fault. Like, it's not her fault.
Yeah, that's the saddest part.
But I think genuinely, if they had a relationship, like, already, then fine. Like, a sisterly relationship beyond the drama with the dad, fine. But it's clear that they're, like, strangers. So then I feel like in a nice ideal world, like, yeah, they could be friends and stuff. But I think it's kind of awkward.
Some of mom's stuff, But
I think it's just, they're too far gone. The relationship's too far gone.
And I think dad is, like, the biggest reason why they don't have a very close relationship. If he would just let the truth be out there.
I think he's ashamed.
I don't know if he's ashamed.
Oh, that's true. You can't be ashamed of stuff.
I think he just doesn't want to own up to what he did. Yeah. But I think, like, ideally, if dad had admitted to the truth and half-sister knew the truth, maybe OP and her would have a closer relationship. And then OP would be inclined to give half-sister, like, a little trinket just to, like, you know, as a symbol, like, maybe, like, even if we don't have the same moms, we're still sisters, you know. But OP mentioned, like, because of dad's, like, constantly shutting her down when she was telling half-sister the truth, that, like, any chance at a relationship was ruined.
I know this is from OP's perspective, so maybe there are details we don't know about. But based on the whole, what OP's dad chose to do from the very beginning, like, okay, you have an affair. Normal people, I feel like, would feel some shame telling their partner that. But he goes, well, you can always have a second child you always wanted. Just, like, struck a nerve with me.
And then dad tried using OP to make it exciting.
That's
like,
so
don't
messed
you want
up.
a sister too?
That's manipulative. It sucks. I'm so glad OP wrote him out.
Yeah.
Like, not that there are principles to being a cheater, but I'm like, if you're going to cheat, the bare minimum is to own up to it and not try to, like, sugarcoat the situation and then, like, manipulate your family members into being okay with it.
Especially your daughter. Trying to, like, manipulate her to manipulate your wife. I think that is very underhanded, I think.
He's an a-hole.
Yes. He's the biggest a-hole here. So commenter asks, she knows your mom as her mom. Did they know each other? What would your mom do? Honestly, I just let her wear the stuff. That's kind of what I mentioned. Like, maybe no.
No.
And OP replies, they never even met. My mom made sure she wouldn't get any of it. Okay, well, if that's the case, then I guess OP's just kind of upholding her mom's wishes then. Yeah, I didn't know that. Because to me, if it was just like everything's left up to me. Like, maybe I would, just to
Right,
make her
right.
happy, I would just lend it. But if mom specifically requested that none of it goes to the, I hate to say it, like a Fairchild, then I think it's right for OP to uphold her mom's wishes. It sucks because in half sisters world, like, she only knows OP's mom as her mom too.
But still, only the idea though, because she's never met OP's mom either.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like sister is too much. You're 23 years old. You need to stop living in delusion.
23, do 23andMe.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God.
Like, there's so many options to do DNA tests.
Like, just get it verified, and then you can stop bickering, like, back and forth with
Yeah.
other people.
Like, maybe you can move on from this then. Especially if, like, now you're both getting married and, like,
Yeah.
you're definitely, like, pretty into adulthood by now. I think the whole wondering about your, like, parents, I'd be over it by then.
Yeah.
Honestly, like,
kind of, yeah.
yeah.
Because I feel like it doesn't feel like the half-sister's trying to find answers. It's more like she's trying to find something to attach to remember. But I feel like it's built on a memory that never exists in the first place. Like, she's never met her mom. It's fine to have that, like, want and desire. But I think she really needs to kind of solve it and not just let it fester into this, what looks like obsession at this point, to be honest. Because even then, if you really cared about family and things like that, wouldn't you have built a relationship with your half-sister versus trying to, like, fight with her over the mom who you've never met things?
I really think it's the dad who kind of, like, failed to facilitate this, like, dynamic. And he's just, like, bringing on another motherly figure with, I think it kind of gives half-sister, like, false hope.
Yeah.
And it's so sad because all she wants is, like, a motherly figure, and she's probably never gonna get that, except maybe, like, her future mother-in-law. But other than that, like, for her own motherly figure, it's just sad. I mean, it's not half-sister's fault. She was born into this situation and this dynamic. It's definitely dad's fault.
Dad needs to take responsibility, not OP.
Yeah. And then one more comment. Commenter says, and it's something like what we were talking about, maybe you give her some jewelry. She wants something sentimental for her wedding day. You are her sister and the only woman in her life. I guess that is true. Well, besides stepmom. Obviously, what your dad did was horrible, but are you punishing your sister for it? She is not to blame. And OP says, I'm not actually in her life anymore. I was no contact with them for years.
See, I don't agree with this comment. I'm sorry, I don't. Like, in an ideal world, if they had a relationship, fine. But dad's mistakes, like, I see too many of these stories and these situations in real life where, okay, dad messed up or whatever parent messed up, and then the kids have to clean up the act. That's what it is. Like, I think, yes, it's so simple. Like, give her jewelry, give her something small, get her out of your hair. Right. But then what about in the future? Like, is half-sister or no, OP supposed to then take on mom's role, you know?
I mean,
and always be there?
Now that OP says that she has no contact with them for years, I get it. I think, like, if they had some contact,
right,
then I would agree with the commenter. Like, maybe OP could just give her, like, a small gift that she could then cherish. But because it seems like they have no relationship at all, I guess it's not really worth it. Yeah.
And it doesn't even seem like half-sister wants a relationship with OP at this point. She just wants mom's things. It's become this fight over who's right. You know what I mean? Like,
I think half-sister should probably just take it up with the grandparents at this point.
Yeah.
Like, if dad's not cooperating and OP has no contact, maybe the next best thing would be maybe the grandparents could give her something. Like, not the mom, but maybe the grandparents can. Because they are still her grandparents.
If they even have any relationship. Like, we don't know, I guess.
Yeah,
we're not sure, but
or at least, like, paternal grandparents. Yeah. So, most comments says that OP is not the a-hole, especially since they have no contact with them, and dad is the biggest a-hole here in this story.
Dad's a massive a-hole. The audacity! Who says that? Here's your second child you always wanted. Just take care of her. Are you crazy?
To not even admit to the affair. So, like, half-sister's living her whole life
just doesn't know,
thinking that she has a mom that is not her mom, when actuality, her real mom is out there somewhere doing something
and wants nothing to do with her.
Yeah. In this time, I think I would suggest her taking a DNA test.
Get that test.
Yeah. It's like really easy these days too to get tested. It's kind of sad because like their new stepmom knows that half sister wants a motherly figure, but she's not even stepping up to play that role for her in her life. So I don't know what right she thinks she has like to call OP and say like, "Hey, half sister is like sad. Can you give her something?"
That sounds more like, hey, so your dad messed up and I don't want to deal with it. So can you deal with it instead?
It's very messed up. Well, do you think that OP should have done something for her sister as a half sister?
Yeah, gave her the link to 23andMe.
Oh shoot. Give her a promo code.
Here's a promo code for it.
Gift card.
There's a discount right now.
Oh no. All right, well, that's today's story. Let us know what you think in the comments. Would you have given something of your mom's to half sister knowing the situation, or would you have kept to yourself? Let us know in the comments.
And if you're listening to us on Spotify, don't forget to follow and also give us 5-star, guys. And please help us by subscribing and liking this video. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.